Assalamu alaikum. I Jabin Ahmad Hajam, teacher MS Naidpura, Zone Kaimu. Once again welcome my dear viewers in this video in which we are going to discuss a topic from science subject class 7th, which is respiration and breathing in humans. Dear students, before discussing the topic, let us know something about a cell. A cell is the basic unit of life of each and every organism. Each cell of an organism performs certain functions such as nutrition, excretion, transport, reproduction, etc. To perform such activities, a cell needs energy. Now, the question is where this energy comes from. This energy comes from the food we eat. The food we take has stored energy which is released during respiration. Therefore, all living organisms respire to get energy from food. Now, let us first see what breathing is. Breathing is the process of inhaling of oxygen and exhaling of carbon dioxide. Dear students, breathing is a voluntary physical process which takes place in the lungs. No energy is produced during breathing. Breathing takes place through organs like lungs, nose, etc. What a voluntary action is? A voluntary action is that which is under the control of the will, or we can say which is under our control. Before moving ahead, have a look on this. This is breathing in and breathing out. What happens when we take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide? See, normally we take in air through our nostrils, which passes into the nasal cavity. From nasal cavity, air reaches our lungs in the chest cavity, which is surrounded by ribs on the sides. A large muscular sheet called a diaphragm forms the floor of the chest cavity. Breathing involves the movement of the diaphragm and the rib cage. Here you can see the air enters through the nose and enters to lungs. When we inhale oxygen, this is when we inhale, our chest cavity expands and this diaphragm moves downwards. And why opposite is the case when we exhale air, our chest cavity contracts and this diaphragm regains its original position. Here, during inhalation, ribs move up and outwards and diaphragm moves down. This movement increases the space in our chest cavity and air rushes into our lungs. And during exhalation, ribs move down and inwards, while diaphragm moves its original position, which reduces the size of chest cavity and air is pushed out of the lungs. Now, what is breathing rate? Dear students, breathing rate is the number of times a person breathes in a minute, which is called breathing rate. A breath means one inhalation and one exhalation. That is inhaling oxygen, one inhale and one exhale. It is called a breath. And the normal breathing rate of a person, of an adult human being, is 15 to 18 times per minute. But this can vary when we work hard, we do some heavy work, or we can say during heavy exercise or work, it can go up to 25 times per minute. Now, the second term which we have to discuss is respiration. What is respiration? Respiration is a chemical process that takes place in a cell. The air we inhale brings oxygen to the lungs and is carried by the blood to the cells, why it helps in the breakdown of glucose with the release of energy which is used by cells to carry out their respective functions. Or in other words, we can say that the process of breakdown of food in the cell with the release of energy is called cellular respiration. So, this respiration and breathing are two different terms. During respiration, glucose, that is C6H12O6, that is food, when mixes with oxygen, it gives out carbon dioxide plus water plus energy. That is, we can say glucose and oxygen give carbon dioxide, water and energy. And this breakdown of food, which occurs in presence of oxygen, is called aerobic respiration. After this, there is some other type of respiration. Dear students, there are also some organisms which respire anaerobically. For example, if we take the example of yeast, they respire without the use of oxygen or in absence of oxygen. What happens in such organisms? In such organisms, glucose is broken down into alcohol and carbon dioxide. They are therefore used to make wine and beer. These organisms are also called anaerobes. So anaerobes are those organisms which respire in absence of oxygen. Here, glucose in absence of oxygen or without the use of oxygen gives alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. Not only this, however, our muscle cells sometimes can also respire anaerobically, but only for a short period of time, when there is temporary deficiency of oxygen during heavy exercise or cycling, fast running or any other heavy work. During such actions, there is high demand for energy, but the supply of oxygen is very less in the muscle cells. Thus, these cells respire anaerobically, resulting into partial breakdown of glucose and produces lactic acid, which causes muscle cramps. Muscle cramps, as can usually be seen in players while playing cricket, different games like football, etc. Note, these cramps can be removed by hot water bath. or massage, which improves circulation of blood. As a result, the supply of oxygen to the muscle cells increases and results in the complete breakdown of lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water. This was something about breathing and respiration. What we learned: breathing is the inhaling of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide, and respiration is the breakdown of food in presence of oxygen in the cells of an organism to produce energy, carbon dioxide and water. And we have also learned that there are two types of respirations: aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. The organisms where aerobic respiration takes place are called aerobes, and those organisms which respire in absence of oxygen are called anaerobes. In another video, we will discuss respiration. Other organisms also, like fish, cockroach, earthworm, etc. Till then, Allah Hafiz, and thanks for being there.